Okay, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Being led by Rayon.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And welcome to the second regular meeting of August 2026 for the Village of Ballston Board of Trustees. This is August 24th, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve the August 10th, 2026 meeting minutes? Trustee Fandesa.
Second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, I guess, on that. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No presentations tonight. Public comment on agenda items only. If you're on Zoom, this will be the time to raise your hand to speak about agenda items only for up to 3 minutes. So please do raise your hand if you do intend to do so. Anybody inside the room who would like to speak, please raise your hand. Well, hold on. Mike may have beaten you, so I'm gonna give you guys the selection.
Although mine will be very quick. I don't even.
Go for it. Well, just to name yourself, location, all that stuff.
Ellie Dillon, 116 Malt Avenue, Ballston. I know it's not where on the agenda for tonight from the National Bottle Museum, and we truly thank you for your generosity. We had Bob Kavanaugh from the Museum with one of the fire chiefs. They gave us multiple pointers to keep the museum safe from emergencies and fire, and that's where the money's going for. So we thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ellie. And Mike.
Thank you. Good evening. Mike Iglesias, 3 Oxford Drive. Just a comment and question with respect to consent agenda items zoning rules 3, 4, and 5, the agreements with various local organizations. With the agreement that was posted online so far, there was no dollar figure on that. I assume that will be corrected or already has been corrected.
There was no what? I'm sorry.
Dollar figure.
Gotcha.
And language, I don't know if this language is new to this type of agreement or not, but it points out that in the event programs run by the organization are substantially reduced, canceled, or do not take place because the organization chooses to go on private activities, then said funds shall be forfeited and not paid by the village, or if already paid, shall be refunded by the organization's village. So my question basically is, do the village and each organization have a list of programs that are expected to be presented? And who will determine whether there's any substantial reduction in programs offered by any of the organizations?
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, seeing nothing on Zoom, let us go to the consent agenda. Would anybody like to remove an item from the consent agenda? Hearing none. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda items? Trustee Dubuque, Trustee Fondainza, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mike, just to answer your question there, since it kind of got lumped in, I should have done a discussion, but in the case of BARC, yes, because we're provided a list of different aspects of what they're going to do, so we do technically have something from them. We rely on our liaisons for the Ballston area seniors to make sure that they're maintaining, actively. And with respect to National Boating Museum, because of the sum, we assume that they're putting it to good use, and Ellie usually gives us a report. So it's not a hard and fast scenario, but it's just to protect the village in case something really does go wrong and the money gets redirected against what we would normally given it for. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, now to 7. Can I get a motion to approve El Turco Mediterranean Restaurant to hold a fundraiser supporting children with autism on August 30th, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The event will utilize the adjacent parking lot for the event. Certificate of insurance is on file. Trustee Fondainza. Trustee Price-Bush, discussion, and just want to thank them for doing this. I was trying to introduce them to the supervisor in Niskayuna, who I'm friends with, and didn't realize they're like one property or a couple of properties outside of Niskayuna, actually in Schenectady proper, believe it or not, even though they're on Union Street in that location. But she was working to get her in front of the neighborhood contingent over there, so they might do something similar out in Niskayuna. But it's great what they're doing here, so thank you to them. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve Speckled Pig to host an Oktoberfest block party on September 19, 2026 from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Closure of Washington Street from Milton Avenue to 17 Washington Street will be in effect. Certificate of insurance is on file. Trustee Fondainza. Trustee Dunkelbarger. Discussion.
Can we add the mayor has for vacation?
Only if he's in town, and I cover football that Saturday. I was talking to RJ actually about that the other day. I would like to go to one of these because I think I've missed the ones so far. Mm-hmm. But if I am in town, you know me, I'm always up for a good time. All in favor? Ellie?
Okay, next.
Opposed?
Too awkward. Sorry.
I think the motion carried. We're just going to keep going. Can I get a motion to Adam Zeilman be appointed as a part-time police officer?
Make the motion.
Trustee Dunkelbarger.
Second.
Trustee Dubuque, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Somebody should put a press release out when the leave a tour about that one, actually, about the Lederhosen. Can I get a motion to approve the 9/11 memorial ceremony to be held outside Village Hall from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Front Street from Science to Bath Street will be closed for the services and reopened immediately following the ceremony. Trustee Price-Bush, Trustee Fondainza. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There's announcements. Specifically here, the monopole. So far, I believe AT&T and T-Mobile have recommissioned, decommissioned, and all the above, and actually removed most of their equipment off of the John Street water tower. So for all the not so prettiness of the monopole, the water tower looks a lot better right now with only Verizon's equipment still on, I believe. They are working over the next week to take theirs off and commission over to the monopoles, I think, sector by sector. So sometime next week, all 3 carriers should be fully operational from the monopole in that position. Speaking with Senator Tedisco's office, and we are working to see if we cannot get another chance at $100,000 or thereabouts with respect to the pool and the pool reconditioning that's necessary. As you know, we have stored away about $50,000 related to trying to get the pool surface rejuvenated because it is in need of that. And we did have a price of in the $137,000 range, I believe, for that. Currently, it's next year probably hits the 150 mark thereabouts. And so that would be probably just perfect if we were able to secure that, because I understand the Senate minority was able to get some funding released or the access to some of it. So we will continue to work with Senator Tedisco. I put in a narrative with respect to it consistent with what we had years ago from that whole situation where the money got trapped basically inside the state. So we'll see where this one goes, but we are hoping that is successful, and we thank him for his work on that. Family Fun Day, not to steal Mary's thunder, rousing success, and just want to thank everybody that came out for that event. I'll let her kind of go more into that in a couple minutes here in her liaison report, but just want to emphasize how it was a tremendous event, and thank you to everybody volunteer-wise, merchants and or vendors, and everybody that volunteered. Chris did a great job at the bubble booth, I can attest all day, but everybody, thank you again, and Mary will have more on that. I think that's all I have. Let me go to the treasurer's report somewhere in here. We didn't get charts and graphs, unfortunately, this time, but we did get little pictures at the bottom, I did notice, and it ends with the final days of summer break bring a mix of slow mornings and nervous excitement, which sounds like my life. But anyway, we get a really good look at our balance sheet and revenues and expenses in this one. I'm not going to go line by line, but she breaks down where we stand as of right now. Year-to-date expenses in general fund are about 20% of the budget. For sewer fund, about 14% of the budget, and for library fund, about 16.8% of the budget. The sales tax distribution looks like June, once again, was very good, thanks to Belmont weekend, which is obviously the final Belmont weekend. So the village distribution for August, which is usually a 2-month leading scenario, so it goes back to June, was $147,214. That is up from $127,393, so $20,000 gain there. That's a nice chunk of change differential, so we appreciate that. And thanks to Melissa for all the great information year to date. So the 6 months essentially of the year to date, we're up at least county-wide by about 10.6%. So a healthy show there. Who knows what's next? Who knows how much of that is also gas related? Because of the price of fuel, and there's been no gas holiday or gas tax holiday on that. So things to think about whether or not that continues or not, and economic conditions could always change, but nice to see it at least holding up for now. Liaison reports. Berta.
Yes, the Business Association, they recently had their second annual Peach Fest. It was very busy, and I was told that all the vendors had sold out, which is fantastic. Though one of the things that they remarked is that people stayed in town. They stayed at the market, they stayed downtown, which is kind of the point. Business Association works really hard to get people in the village shopping, and very thankful for their efforts. The market's continuing on Saturdays until October 3rd from 9 to 1. And then concerts, the last 2 concerts are coming up this Thursday and the next Thursday, Protones and Cersei. That's at Iron Spring Park. The final movie in the park is more of a date night. It's on first Friday in September. It's going to be 51st Dates. And generally, that's all I've got now for the Business Association, and they're plugging along.
So you're saying that Peach Fest was peachy?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You guys come for the bad jokes.
You're my favorite audience member of all time, Ellie, okay? Come on.
Frank, you're spending too much time with Paul.
Yes, clearly I am.
Dad jokes.
Okay.
Mary, save me.
Sure.
We're ready.
The Ballston area senior, their upcoming trip is October 6th. It's going to be Oktoberfest at Gavin's, and sign up is September 3rd and 10th. So that's going to be upon us very soon. Resident members $45, non-resident members $55, guests pay full price. And for more trip information, you can contact Mary Egan at 518-630-6322. And this Wednesday, the afternoon book discussion group will be discussing We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. That's August 26th, 3:30 to 4:30. And Family Fun Day, I'm going to encourage Gina to give more details about the numbers and all of that, but it was a success, and volunteers. Ellie was there volunteering, and but there were a lot of, I think I saw Liz there and Mike. Rebecca and her kids.
With you and the cotton candy.
6 hours straight.
Have you gotten all the cotton candy coloring off your hands yet?
It was fun, and there was a constant line, and people seemed to really be enjoying themselves. Parents just kept saying thank you. You know, they were so happy with the whole event. So they did a great job. Oh yeah, and that's all.
Charlie?
All right. So the next Committee on the Arts meeting is September 9th, 7 p.m. right here in the library. And I have a little note from George Long. He wrote, on behalf of the Village Committee on the Arts, a sincere thank you to everyone who helped make our first Front Street Art Fair a success. From the BSBPA to the Lions, Curtis Lumber, the village government, and of course our many talented artists, musicians, and businesses. You put your trust in us to put on this event, and I hope you feel we delivered. We learned many lessons that will make future events smoother and more successful, but this was a great first step to putting us on the map as a genuine and unique community. We have so much potential, and we look forward to the next events. And again, thank you. And I would just like to mirror that. It was a nice event. We all know how hard George and the rest of the committee worked to put it together. So it's just going to get better every year, and I'm looking forward to it next year. And then HDC, September 10th, 90 East High Street. They'll have their meeting at 7 p.m. And Park and Tree will meet September 15th, the Cornell Cooperative Conference Room at 7 p.m.
And just want to thank you for being my date, along with your husband, Chris, at this year's Ballston Spa Stakes on Saturday before the Alabama. And the winner was And One More Time, which was a slight upset. And in true Ballston Spa form, there was an objection that we had to withstand for about 4 minutes or so, and no changes were made. So, I mean...
Par for the course, I guess.
Yep, absolutely. Paul.
DPW, they were helping with setting up and tearing down for Family Fun Day. They have 3 more streets to go for prepping before they can start to pave. And quick note for the folks on Fairground Avenue, this Wednesday, your street will be milled, and it will be paved on Monday the 31st. For the folks on Minuteman Lane, your street will be milled on Thursday the 27th and paved on Tuesday the 1st.
We want to add that Lot A will be available, thanks to the fairgrounds folks, for people on fairgrounds that need to park. You can't park, obviously, on fairgrounds or in that vicinity. So thank you to the fairgrounds for making that offer to us on that.
And the contract for the traffic calming study was signed on Friday. They'll be setting up a kickoff meeting within the next couple of days.
Sounds good.
And lastly, on zoning, I believe the zoning board meeting this Wednesday.
I never knew. Didn't hear about it.
I've seen a lot of news about it, so I don't really need.
So it's confirmed. Thank you, Paul. Old business zoning code update. One thing that's pressing, Chris just got back, Chris Crucial from Fisher Associates got back from vacation and sent Carla and myself an email stating that he's ready to make the final changes and everything else. But 2 things I want to talk about briefly here. Number 1, Chris revealed that next month he leaves Fisher and goes to another consulting firm. Now, he asked the question, which is a relevant question, which was essentially, do you want me to take this with me, essentially? Because he has been pretty much the principal and only, at least major participant at Fisher with respect to this zoning code. I said, we did have a bidding process per se, an interview process, and focused on consulting firms, so I need to talk to the board to make sure what their intentions are on this, and we can maybe move forward from there at the next meeting if we end up in that direction. Go
I
ahead.
think it's wise to continue working with him because he's read that a billion times. I'd rather have his eyes on it.
Everybody else have the
I
same
agree, we're
thought?
too far deep into.
I did ask him in the meantime, keep going on this, and gave him some thoughts from the last, since the last draft of what to fix and everything else from what we had seen as still problematic. One other thing, I'm going to be sending the board some info, was talking to Scott Burlingame on this with respect to the idea of adaptive reuse and filling some holes in the code with respect to buildings that we might want to keep in place in some form or another, at least most of the building, and allowing uses that might not otherwise fit the code, but would be still conducive in the neighborhoods or locations that they're located. Thinking the South Street School area, perhaps, Maplewood Manor's existing shelf, that were to be reused, and others out there as well. Not every building qualifies for this. We're talking like in institutional type uses, school type uses, churches, stuff like that, that might be able to still stand with a different use inside if they were ever abandoned for the intended use, but the desire to keep those buildings in place, but not hinder what could happen necessarily inside of them if it's, again, conducive. And it's a lot of words that have to be placed in it to build the guardrails and guide rails in it, so that's why I wanted send to the board before I ever send it to Chris to say, this is something we should do. So look forward to that, basically. Go ahead.
Separate to the code? Or
Inside, folded into the code. This was seeming to be an omission, really, from us, because we do see buildings that have that character that might not otherwise fit, and they don't fit into the pre-existing non-conforming mentality necessarily either. So Scott was pretty clear that this was something that he thinks that would give us an opportunity to protect a lot of structures that would want to be protected or would want to be protected down the line. So I thought it was a good use of some time to go through that. And like I said, leave it in your hands ultimately to look at and see what you think about it.
How long will that process
In terms of
getting it into the draft? And
I don't think very long, because if you like what's written, we can just hand it right over to them. If you don't, or you want alterations, we can do that in a few days probably. If you can take the time to look at it. It's like I said, it's a lot of words for the guardrails that you need to apply into something like that, because again, you don't want it to be a runaway train, and that's the whole idea here. There's a limited number of properties probably would apply to in the village, but enough to matter, I think, in this respect, and it's not spot zoning because there are enough to matter in that respect. So be prepared for that. Anything you'd like to include as an update on that?
No. I was on vacation.
Yeah.
I came back for you guys.
Were there drinks with umbrellas in them?
There were no umbrellas.
Okay. There were drinks.
There were no umbrellas.
No new business from anybody? No. Public comment on any issue. If you're on Zoom, this will be the time for public comment on any issue and to raise your hand for up to 3 minutes to speak on that any issue. And if there's anybody in the room that would like to speak, now would be the time to raise your hand. Ellie.
I'm back.
Are you going to comment about my Lederhosen?
No. I'm wearing a museum hat. As I've said before, Jeannie, you did a fantastic job, and I want to publicly thank you. The museum had a wonderful mix of adults and children, where we could keep the children entertained and interested, and I could work on the adults to join the museum. So it was really a nice day for us, and I thank you, and I look forward to it.
Are you guys repainting the top area there, or were my eyes deceiving me with the Bottle Museum? Is it south? I couldn't tell. I was looking up. I couldn't see exactly where I was looking. Somebody's repainting, I think, something around your zone up there.
It's a different building.
Different building?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a different building.
And the other thing is just sort of a confusion question. I'm taking my museum hat off and now I'm having to.
Hi, Ellen.
On the zoning code, the new one, the one that's in the draft now, is Tannery project being held to the old one? Is that why we're not getting the new one in place?
No, it has nothing to do with
Is it
that.
dragging on? Which one, they're gonna be held to the old one?
Because they filed under the old one, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And the new one will not affect,
Unless it got pulled and then refiled later or something like that. Yep, no problem.
thank you.
You got it. Liz?
Liz Cornwall, 59 Hyde. I just had a couple of questions. What is the status of DPW and Village Hall as far as placement, fixing up? I mean, Village Hall has the structural issues, and I'd just like to know where these buildings stand. I mean, looks like the fire department is, doing a lot of repairs and fixing everything up, and we don't see anything, and the police department is, I think pretty well set after their acquisition and what the changes they made. But these other two buildings, driving by, particularly DPW, it's difficult.
Thank you. And Mike, did you have your hand up? I didn't see. No, thank you. Appreciate it. Gina, go ahead.
Stephen Rosie, 10 Woodbury Lane. Ellie, I say it every year, it takes a whole team to put that event down. I appreciate the props, but.
Yeah, I realize that, but you're all super at it. Ding, 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 ding.
Well, in honor of Mary's request, my little report on Family Fun Day. It was our largest one yet. We had all estimates point to close to 2,000 people event. Even though Mother Nature went and messed with us a little bit. We had a couple showers come through. The Fun Bucks, that program for the severely underprivileged so that they can eat, again, was a huge success. We had several of the coupons turned back in, which thank you to Michael's Auto and St. Mary's Church for that program.
And then Deb Dugan, obviously, for getting
Yeah, Dugan, who just came out of being ill. We were her first outing, which was awesome to see her out and about again. So yes, so she worked with us. The number of vendors, the number of volunteers, the Ballston Spot Fire Department, the task force who puts up with me this time of year.
Ballston Spot Police Department.
I can get there. Getting there. Ballston Spot Police Department. They actually had a booth and were making cotton candy, I believe, at one point, right?
Almost.
Your staff, the cotton candy queen over there, Jen, you've been replaced.
That's okay. She could barely walk when she was done too, so it's a curse.
Even though I brought her a special chair. The groups that benefited, the Girl Scouts, the Cub Scouts, the Bottle Museum,
Elks.
the Elks, they did phenomenal in the kitchen. That was one of our best moves that I think we made, right, Ray? Giving them the kitchen. It was just a great day. And to see little kids so excited to get a backpack with full supply. And you think that they got gold. I mean, it was amazing. Why we do it for the community, and the community really turned out. And hopefully next year, Mother Nature gets back on her meds and we have a good night. Oh, and the fireworks in Sanford, I gotta thank them. They gave us a show well worth beyond what they charge us. There's a Ballston Spot tie there, the woman that does the booking, born and raised in Ballston Spots. She has a soft spot for Ballston Spots. They take really good care of us. Just everybody was phenomenal. All of our sponsors, we took in a nice sum of money to actually pay for the fireworks. And Yeah, that's it. It was a great day. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to help.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Ray Otten.
Ray Otten, 16 Millbrook Avenue. I want to thank from the task force, I want to thank Gina. Crazy lady, just stupid crazy. But
I know her.
she's like a ping pong ball all day long. Yes, you know, where the hell Gina? Who knows? Who knows? But great job. You know, the vendors, nothing but compliments as they were leaving. I was the pylon near the gate, and they all went by me. They were thrilled with what happened. And I just want to mention one of the vendors. You mentioned the bucks, the Scotty bucks. One of them had a stack about that thick. Probably, what, 35 or so?
Yeah,
Maybe more than that. I know.
Like that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
He hands them to me. I said, all right, I'll make sure Gina gets them. We'll take care of you. And he goes, no, that's my donation. So, you know.
and he added to it.
And yeah, oh yeah, he put another $50 in, I think. So that's the attitude that most of the folks have.
That was the kettle corn folks, to
Yeah,
be
the
specific.
kettle corn, which
Yep.
my wife brought this bag.
It's good stuff.
So yeah, thank you, and thank you to all those of us that were there helping, and it went very well. It went very well. Second thing I have is I want to thank you for making sure that the Route 50 got paved. So I know that fell on your shoulders. I heard so much about that, and you're just a miracle worker when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Lastly, now I really do need your help, and this is something I brought up to many administrations, but it continues to go on. We have a noise ordinance in this village. And the earliest hours, trying to read the thing is a little weird, but the earliest hours that noise, if you will, is allowed is around 6 a.m. Okay, in most cases, I think it's 7. Depends on whether it's a residential area or a commercial area, but I happen to live in an area that's bordering a commercial area. Actually, my property is commercial. But there's a problem, because every week, our friends from County Waste are emptying the dumpsters at 5 a.m. So at 5 a.m., it sounds like explosions going off. And if you sit there and listen, it goes bang up by my place, and then the next one, it goes all the way down through the town. And then at 6 o'clock, they got another round that comes through. I know enforcement of that is supposedly done by the police department, but if the village could maybe make a call to the county waste and say, by the way, as we've said in the past, the ordinance says nothing before, or at earliest 6 a.m. It would just make it easier for the residents to maybe get some sleep in the morning on every Thursday. Yeah, I mean, look, it ain't working, is it?
Your 3 minutes are up, but we'll send that to Jen to get that message across if she hasn't already tried a few times. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
It's an ongoing, I need to call.
It's county waste,
Yeah.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Chris.
No, it's all right. I can drive in a straight line.
All right.
Thank you for being my date state, if that makes any sense on Saturday.
So Chris Duke, 6 Scaling Drive. Thank you for the props for the bubble table, but I took it over from somebody who was much more capable of the meeting, gave me strict marching orders. Watch out that the balls don't escape from the tots area, don't pour bubbles here, make sure the bubbles, if they get necessary over here, you clean them up, so I
Did he do it after I
He
left?
did a great job.
Okay.
And we will need more bubbles for next year, we're gonna know. But I wanted to thank, obviously, everybody for, again, Family Fun Day is always phenomenal to see. It's phenomenal for the community, phenomenal for rich families, and like I said, we saw all demographics there during Family Fun Day. It's just good to have that in the community. I also want to thank you for, the Ballston Pre, and it got me thinking about a few things. Sometimes it's a nice positive meeting. Sometimes I know a little bit negative.
community get a little bit of passion, and it makes you think back to, you know, what represents Boston Spa. I know it's fun to joke that there was an objection at the race, and it's almost typical fashion for Boston Spa. And then, you know, this purple suit and shoes, phenomenal. But, you know, it goes with the slogan of the Village of Friends. And, you know, probably the best thing of that day was there was a young man that was recognized at the end of the race. And, you know, forgive me, I'm a little bit of a storyteller, but of my 4 children, and I have one who sort of moves to the beat of his own drum. And I remember this young man one time, we said, hey, go out and invite some people to, you know, Dave & Buster's, like the last big hurrah on his birthday parties. Nobody showed up except for this one young man who showed up. And he sort of knew. He goes, nobody's showing up for your son? And he goes, well, you know, I'm doing the right thing to show up for your son. And I was like, man, that was just amazing. He had that sense, this was, if I could probably elementary school, he had that sense back then. And I sort of followed him throughout the years. He was also friends with my other son. They were in robotics together, and he just was a very talented young man. And he was at that race, and he was invited back to where normally the owners would be to celebrate their winnings and to celebrate the winning of the horse. And he was given the spotlight. Where are you going to college? How are you doing? And everything. And I just saw him light right up. And to see that, that is what it means, again, to, you know, be in this village, to be a village of friends. He was a friend to my son when my son needed a friend the most, and he was recognized as a truly outstanding young man that he is to this day and what he's going through. And yesterday would have been the birthday of my mother, who passed a couple of years ago, and she was a 3rd grade teacher. And she'd tell you if she was still alive to this day, the kids you impact, they are the future. When they become adults, they remember those little moments when you gave them a chance to truly, truly shine. So all the things I saw that, again, it was a great time, but that was not the greatest impact. And I have to thank you for that, Mayor, because again, that's the impact you have on, you know, future generations of the village. And it's those little quiet moments nobody sees. There's no cameras, there's no spotlight, there's no social media. It's just giving that young man a chance to shine. He truly deserved that after, you know, what I'm sure he's done with countless people, not just my son. So
10 seconds.
Absolutely. And again, thank you to all of you, because again, I noticed it up there, it's not always the easiest thing to do, and whether you're going around in the hot sun during the art fair to make sure George is doing good, or showing up at Family Fun Day and putting through everything each and every one of you do, it's always appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. And Bryce deserves congratulations. He came back also for a $3,500 scholarship from New York Racing Association, and he's attending University of Louisville and came back for that award. So it was great to see him. He was actually in our picture last year in the winner's circle, because he was working with them in that area. And this year came back just to celebrate with everybody and get his money from the scholarship. So congratulations to him. Anybody else? Seeing none? Hearing none? We have time for other business, including but not limited to board response to public comment. Paul, I always put you in the hot seat first. I'm going to go to Bernadette first this time. How's that for throwing this off?
Just want to applaud everybody. Family Fun Day. I'm sorry I had to miss it this year. We were celebrating the life of my aunt who passed away, but I think she'd be overjoyed at how well it went, because she worked with children with special needs. But anyway, very glad you did well.
Well, you were missed.
I know.
You indeed were.
All right, I'm going to cry.
Mary, save us again.
No, you were with us in spirit, Bernadette. We did miss you. And I'm glad you were able to pay tribute to your aunt.
Thank you. Charlene, I guess?
I agree with Mary, Bernadette. You know, we missed you, but we're happy that, you know, you got to take that time with your family. I'd also like to say that this is such a small little agenda, and the meeting went so quick, but I felt like tonight was really impactful, because if you look at like a huge portion of our agenda items, they're all community-oriented events, right? Whether that's, you know, approving future events or paying some of our organizations or helping them, you know, financially to do all of the hard work that they do. So I really think, you know, it's just a testament to who we are as a village. And I don't know, tonight makes me super proud.
Amen. Paul?
No comment.
First or last, I can't get them to go too far on that. With respect to DPW, we are working with Malta on what to do in that situation to try to get a storage building there built so that we can stage it. But if not, if we can't, we're working down roads to figure out, how to proceed from there, and then we'll see if we're going to need to do a contract with LaBerge with respect to next steps and design and engineering and all that stuff. With respect to Village Hall, first, would love to get it painted also, and I've talked to Randy Elliott about helping us figure out who we can get to do it for a reasonable price. And some of the structural stuff appears to be overstated with respect to the retaining wall from what folks we've talked to, but we do want to still do the vault and also look at refacing that wall to at least contain a little bit of the stuff that was starting to fall off of it. So we'll continue down that path as well. Just in general, and I said it yesterday on Facebook, I'm going to say it again, Wednesday is an opportunity for this village to really, voice their opinions, voice their thoughts on a controversial topic. There's no doubt about it. And I always say two things, and one I said especially yesterday, but I'll say another part generally. Integrity matters in terms of, stay on facts, stay on reasonable opinions, don't inflame. It's a discussion at the end of the day. It's not an indictment. And I think that's the biggest thing I always ask of folks in those moments is to stay calm, stay rational, stay full of integrity in what you say and do in those situations. And, just be respectful in general to your neighbors, to the boards who really, they might as well be volunteers for a little bit of money. We give them a stipend on the Planning and Zoning Board, Zoning Board on Wednesday. Respect is key because it doesn't help anybody to inflame toward those members. It is hard enough of a job. We feel it ourselves from time to time, but we take this on as a responsibility. They're appointed and essentially, give up their time for these situations because they love their community as much as you might as well. And you may not believe that just because they might hold a different position from you on this, but respect is so necessary in these situations. We had the whole residency question back when, because we do struggle sometimes to get people to sign up for these boards. And the best thing we can do to invite others inside of our own community, if that's the way we want to continue going down the line, is to make sure we treat them with respect so others will want to become part of that organization, that board, that committee, whatever have you. So please remember that. That's the only thing I really ask of anybody. Again, your opinions are yours. Your facts are yours to present. Do it. You've got your time to do that in those public hearing moments, and we applaud that fact. That's what makes us the Village of Ballston Spa, besides just our community, interest in the way that you spoke of, Charlene, but also the way we respect each other, or are supposed to respect each other, and always carry ourselves with that integrity that I think is so important. So that's my thought on that. That is 7 p.m. is it at the Elks on Wednesday night? Yep. And at this point, no need for executive session, correct?
I don't need one.
I am. Fine, you be that way.
You can all have one.
No, thanks. I gotta get a motion that the vouchers be audited and the meeting be adjourned at 7:41 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Price Bush.
Second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Everybody have a great Labor Day. We will see you in 3 weeks. Yes, 3 weeks. Have a great time.